So you all assume you're going to watch Vitalik's talk. That's why you're here, right? Guess what? It's a rug pull. You're going to hear a lot about Bordel. My name is Josef, and we're going to see if the slides pop up. This is Mario. We're two locals, and we started this like funny thing called Bordel a while ago. And Mario is going to talk about where is it now as the 2.0 version. So over to Mario.
Yeah, thank you so much coming for specifically our session right here. Really appreciate many of you. And yeah, just wanted to say a couple of words. We got only like 15 minutes, so it's gonna be quick, about the Bordel 2.0 and the future of like the crypto anarchy movement in Prague and our little community here, and how we made it happen thanks to DeFi and Ethereum. So first, just a quick recap, the Bordel 1.0 there, something that we started 6 years ago, actually thanks to this guy right here, because he wanted to play music in the basement because it was awful, nobody can hear it upstairs, right? So we got this dirty basement, and because it was messy, we called it Bordel, to do music, to do hacking, to do all kinds of things there. It was tiny, but we were able to, I would say, concentrate the chaos and create like a very special place with many things in one spot that still kind of makes sense, and people can use different tools, people can come and become creative. It became sort of a layer of many different opportunities. We had workshops on, I don't know, biology and mycelium, on, I don't know, semiconductors, and of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum and cryptocurrencies and OPSEC and sort of self-hosting and, self-sovereignty of technology. A lot of experiments and artists and misfits, sort of activist art, I would say. We did a couple of little projects. We had our own hackathon, Hackatosh's Flying Circuit, that also resulted in a activist art happening right across the street here. And it's been going on like this for a couple of years, just a tiny community where we were not the biggest space or the coolest space with most of the best tools and latest tech, but we had, our own niche with a special breed of people that came from different communities. Like that's what I think we are proud of like merging different communities. And speaking about that, like a big part of the community was Ethereum, or even the core developers that we're visiting thanks to ETH Prague. If you visited the first or second ETH Prague, you actually came down to the Bordel itself, and during the first one, we had a special moment where we were testing the Ethereum merge, the proof of stake transition, with a bunch of Ethereum core devs in the basement itself. It was so funny because my colleagues then saw the picture. They thought it's just like a random LAN party from 90s, but these are the actual people doing the merge. So it became part of Ethereum culture, Ethereum history as well. And then we had to move out because stuff happens, and because it's been going on for a couple of years, and this basement of the Institute of Crypto Anarchy was beginning to be actually too small for all the chaos we tried to concentrate there. So since like maybe 2 years ago, we've been actually looking for a new home. We were trying to find a new, not just space, but also a way to make it sustainable to survive long term. Basically, the problem is, if basically all of the hackerspaces that I visited or co-founded, the big bottleneck was that we are in someone else's land. Somebody owns us. We need to pay rent. We need to survive based on their terms. So what if we actually own a place? What if we are able to get our own space that we can maybe pay a loan on, and therefore make it more sustainable, make it completely ours? We can, tear down any walls. We can do anything with it. And yeah, the way we did it is that, we are these like crypto native misfits. We like to do mischief, so we just made our own loan. We don't go to a bank, we don't go to a third party, we just program it ourselves, permissionlessly on Ethereum. And about that, Josef, yeah.
Thanks. Is anyone familiar with Pawn? Yeah. Awesome, there's a few hands. So forget about Pawn. I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk about how we got from Pawn to Own. And obviously the slides are messy, but this is a Bordel, so I don't care. Just to give you an idea, so Pawn is this permissionless protocol where you can build essentially your structured lending product. So like borrow anything against anything. It's completely permissionless. Every token standard goes. There's no fee charge on this. Within the structure, we started a protocol with this concept of like, well, we want to help crypto natives to bridge into actual real utility. Not just leverage. I mean, on Pawn you can do a lot of leverage on things like LP positions and so on, but we wanted to go beyond that, like actually solve an actual real world need with DeFi. And that's how Pawn started, and it took us a couple years to get there, and thanks to Bordel, we actually could make it happen for the first time. So the entire loan around Bordel is sitting on top of Pawn, and on all of those contracts, everything is open source, including the front end for the loan. So if you go to loan.bordel.wtf, you can actually find all of the details, all of the code there. But how does this thing in particular work? So we're a group of crypto natives. Most of us wouldn't be able to qualify for a mortgage because we are just too weird, and like, let alone talking about opening up a Bordel hackerspace and convincing a bank to finance that would be kind of tough. So what we could do instead is structure it in a way where we crowdsource crypto collateral. In this case, it was wrap EtherFi ETH, so something yield bearing, as a group of hackers. So we essentially like created a safe wallet, put enough wrap EtherFi ETH in it. And then we had to solve the other part, which is the lenders. So we were lucky to find 47 or 48 actually heroes in the ecosystem. We started crowdsourcing. So the terms of the loan were kind of easy. It's a loan that doesn't respond to price liquidations. It only gets liquidated if we stop repaying. So you can imagine this as a standard loan that you have to pay every month. And we took a 5-year loan with monthly installments. So there is. Do we get to the numbers later, or? Okay. All right, it's right there. So what happens is that we also crowdsource a component for the lenders. There is a 4626 vault, which essentially deployed USDC contributed to the Bordel mortgage into Aave, where it was sitting and basically getting the baseline variable yield. And at a point where we reached a threshold, which in this case was 180K, then the borrowers, which means the multisig of Bordel, could execute the loan, essentially triggering the term saying, hey, here is our 240K in wrap ETH, or wrap EtherFi ETH, and we're going to lose everything if we miss one single repayment. So there's no way to withdraw. Like, even if we miss the last repayment, the lenders still get the entire collateral, which is kind of a protection against price depreciation. So first we have the safe, then we have the crowd loan, the people crowdsourcing the money. What we did now, we're essentially at this like stage between stage 2 and 3. We executed a loan, so we borrowed 180K, which was now turned to fiat, and we are processing the paperwork for the new space. Once the space opens up, the perks will get triggered. So the people who contributed to the loan not only get their fixed rate, what we promised was 2.5% annually, thanks to a lucky, or not unlucky, but very generous contributor. That yield has actually bumped to 5%. So now all of the lenders are getting 5% fixed rate for 5 years from this mortgage. And then once the place opens, they get the perks such as access, hosting, throwing like their own parties, and so on, etc. And then there is a 6-month grace period where we don't have to repay, but then we have to start making regular installments in order not to get liquidated. So in the end, the lenders will get their yield back at 5%. They can then just withdraw, redeploy it into Aave or DeFi, whatever they want. And Bordel, the group, will own a hackerspace, which we won't have to pay rent for anymore. And instead of paying rent for the 5 years, we basically just repay the mortgage. So that's the whole point. Yeah, happy to get to the details, but also happy to pass the word to Mario.
Yeah, thank you so much. So this is a screenshot of what Josef was talking about. This was the moment when it happened. Like, we took like 4 months to get it together, because so it was sort of a crowd loaning, not crowdfunding. And turns out like it's a cool idea, but not as good as in practice, because you need to explain people you are not donating, you are only like lending us money. So trying to get people to lend us $180,000 cost us, like, we activated it, like, this is 13 hours before the deadline. So we made it after like 4 months of wait, or three something months. We almost made it thanks to all of these people. So thank you so much. There is a bunch of you here in the room who, I see some of the ENSs here. Bunch of, I see actually one right there. So yeah, bunch of great people who actually, thank you so much. Yeah, so these are 47 people who lended some amount of USDC so that we can borrow and then pay for the space. But I also want to highlight people who just gave a selfless donation where they don't get any APY back, they don't get any money back, and they just donated. So Jared Hoppe leading the from Logos, leading with the sizable donation, and also Victor, who was speaking right before us. He was in the room here. We took his mic, and also that's the guy. Thanks to him, we get a high APY for the lenders. And James Zaki, also from Logos, who donated ETH as well. So. We could use these funds actually as a collateral to be able to secure the loan in the first place. So yeah, thank you so much for everyone who made it happen. And it's happening. The way that it looks right now, again, to explain what Josef was talking about now, this is the amount that we will need to repay together with the interest. And you see the next repayment, it's supposed to be there in like 98 days. So we have less than 100 days to get going and start repaying. And as Josef said, we are getting the space. We are getting a bunker. So after after searching for almost 2 years, I mean, we wanted a basement, and the old place was in a basement, and I kind of like the, the joke of like, we don't have Windows, we just use Linux, and we have, we are dwelling in the basement and hacking, and you are isolated and so on, but best reason is that it's just cheap. Like regular apartment, the real estate in Prague, it's pretty expensive to buy a regular place, especially if you want something commercial where people can come in from the street. So we'll be a bit hidden there, but it will be ours and it will be well protected. So a bunker, cheap, and a great investment. We have the state of the Soviet art air intake system with chemical filter in case of like nuclear warfare or something. So we are still working on hacking this because it's super loud, but it's just beautiful. So we have this, and yeah, it's this is the other room. Basically, there are two big rooms, and this is actually a crawl shaft. So like when the whole building comes down, there is a shaft that can you can crawl outside. We will see how we use that. A lot of creativity. So that's where it comes. This is a blank slate right now, and we are doing the creative part, right? Like this is up to us to make it however we want. This is just slop, just an idea. It will be crazy. We can make it any way we like. We can bring the culture of cypherpunk and crypto anarchy and Ethereum and just like art, and bring anybody who wants to collaborate on cool things. And you can actually do it now because, as Josef said, we are waiting for some paperwork. We don't have the place itself ready, but we have the place right here. We are just a couple rooms this way in the Bordel room, where we set up a bunch of the stuff that we are preparing, prefabricating for the space itself. So if you're interested in some real hacking, this was us yesterday. I don't know how your Eat Prague is going, but this is what I'm doing, cutting some wood and lighting joints with this huge lens we have. So we are building artificial sun, right? Again, basement, no windows, so we are building our own sun. So if you're interested in LEDs and hacking our membership system, we're gonna make like a ZK proof of membership, so anybody can come in with some privacy. If you're interested in LEDs and artificial suns and doing some graffiti, maybe some activist art and some like logos and stuff, you can come to join us in the Bordel room and check it out on Bordel WTF. And hopefully in coming weeks we will have some opening party, but it will be just the first one. We plan to do opening party every month because like we iterate on it. So version 2.1, 2.2, and so on is coming soon, and we are running out of time. Thank you so much. Yeah.